Yo! Video games.
So basically, today what we're going to do is we're going to do our best in show, right? We're going to...
Yeah, just kind of like a
we're gonna hit the big ones anyway.
You know, I kind of like, winners and losers. Like Jim Sterling, he made a video of the winners and losers of E3. I kind of like that because it wasn't like, making a list of like the top 10 best looking games at E3. It was more just like this guy was a winner, this guy was a loser. Like this was an awesome thing, this was a shitty thing.
Okay.
I kind of like that about it rather than having to list or rank.
Well, I figured we wouldn't rank. We would just go like Microsoft and talk about what they came with and what they didn't come with and shit like that. Kind of like how we did the other episode, but that's fine. I'm not too picky on it. This is our like month of E3, and then
because this is Christmas time. This is Christmas time for gamers.
This is Christmas time for gamers, yeah. But all right, who do you want to start with? What company do you want to start? You want to start with Microsoft?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's
go down
Microsoft. Fuck it.
So first we should talk a little bit about their conference.
Yeah, they had a good conference.
Their conference, I feel like, was the most solid.
I feel like they came prepared.
Definitely with a third party.
Yeah, like it wasn't a slam dunk, but it was good. It was very close to being, it wasn't like the perfect 2015 Sony conference.
Yeah,
of dreams, but I mean it was.
Phil was high, so
Phil, he always looks high, but it was.
He might always be high.
He might always be high. It was good though. It showed a lot of what they needed to show. It said a lot of what they needed to say.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the greatest conference ever.
It also it showed that at least Nintendo and Microsoft are willing to do crossplay.
Oh yeah, that was the crazy thing. Oh man, you didn't really find that out at conference. You kind of found that out from Nintendo because they were the last conference, and then went out there saying, "Oh yeah, you can play Minecraft and."
In the Microsoft
Rocket
one,
League
they show the Switch. And
that's true. Yeah, I remember that specifically in the Minecraft when they show like a little Switch made out of Minecraft blocks. I was like, holy shit! I was kind of like, whoa, that's fucking unheard of for a press conference to acknowledge the existence in a non-negative way of another competing system.
I think Sony's kind of, we've said it all show long, right? Arrogant Sony is back.
Arrogant Sony is back.
Sony's been such a dickbag that Microsoft and Nintendo decided, fuck it, we'll share some love. And it's Microsoft being like, I'll share some love.
Well, the other thing, too, is that they were kind of shocked when they found out Nintendo was just kind of like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah. All right.
I think Nintendo knows that they're online. They have no online.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think anyone buys
you
Nintendo
do have to sign into your Xbox Live account on Switch for Minecraft.
Okay.
You have to have whatever your Microsoft ID, whatever Xbox ID.
But the fact that you can do that.
You can do that. Yes, you can do this.
That's excellent.
And the fact that they're willing and fine with it, look, we'll offer Minecraft. We just want you to log in through Xbox ID on our servers, and obviously the PC there's no one to talk to, and Nintendo's like, yeah, sure, whatever. We don't have online. What the fuck's that?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, and Sony's just like, we got to protect the children, and fuck you don't give a shit about that.
If Nintendo's not the one that's concerned about the children, I'm not buying it from
Sony.
I
know. It was a fucking, that guy reached like all through his ass hairs and straight up the cornhole and found the deepest, solidest chunk of shit he could find.
That is
pulled straight out of his ass and delivered it, with a bow tie.
But that is pretty solid, right? But what about the children? And then for at least a couple hours, nobody was on his nuts.
No, the guy was immediately on it. Like that was, I forget who. I think it was from Eurogamer.
Yeah, Brave Soul
immediately responded with, "Yeah, well, Nintendo's traditionally the one most concerned about that. Why aren't you?" Like that seems to. He immediately pulled the but Nintendo card on him.
But Nintendo.
Which again, good on him. That was actually some real reporting.
Yeah, that was the end of his interviewing career, unfortunately, probably.
At least with Sony.
Definitely with Sony. But okay, so what do you think was Microsoft's best in show or worst?
Well, Ori was the best thing they showed, without a fucking shadow of a doubt. But it's almost like a given because the first story was great, the second one's going to be great.
But there's no word on it ever coming out.
Yeah, no.
They're just all like.
But it had that tear-jerking trailer.
It did, yeah. and actually, for those of you that did listen to the last few episodes, in the latest one, you get to hear about how JJ met the producer and cried her wee little eyes out. And then actually, Andreas, I'm sure you're listening. Noir drew fanfic when we were telling the story.
I saw the fanfic.
Yeah,
I saw the fan art.
Have some fan art. I'm sorry. Have some Ori tissues for your Ori tears.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, it's so adorable. That made JJ cry again. So if anybody's wondering if JJ's a softie, only for Ori. Otherwise, she will eat you, kill you. But yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Well, I think Ori was the best thing they showed.
And the thing about it is, they were only showing it on a little TV off in the corner. They would show the trailer every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
but otherwise there was nobody there answering questions, nothing like that. So
because again, like you said, it has no release date. Who the fuck knows when it's coming out?
Coming sometime,
someday.
Yeah.
I did I think it was in Microsoft's indie showcase. They had a trailer that basically said "coming whenever it's damn ready." When it's damn ready, I was like, "Ha!"
Yeah, that was good. So there's another third party that this is probably coming out on everything is like Last Night, and not getting into any of the controversy around that for whatever stupid thing that could possibly start, but it looks cool. It's the Blade Runner-esque looking.
Oh yeah, the Last Night or whatever.
Yeah, none of us had seen it before, I don't think. And
apparently it was announced like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
I didn't even fucking. I might have saw it, but I didn't remember it because again, these sort of pixel graphic things are kind of dime a dozen with indies. Not saying that they're bad or there's anything wrong with that, but they all start to blur together after a while.
This one looks pretty fucking cool, though.
Well, what we saw looked cool, but whatever they showed 4 years ago may not have. Whatever they showed 3-4 years ago might have just been, a generic. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe someone's gonna pull a 2013 trailer and say it always looked this good. Fuck you, Simmons. Maybe it did. In that case, I didn't see it.
It's always been the best.
Right, because I would have remembered the game if I saw a game that looked like that 4 years ago. I would have remembered it. So either I didn't see it till this showing, or
I never saw it,
or I did see it, and at that time it just kind of looked kind of like every other
a brown modeled mass
pixel based indie. But yeah, it looked really cool. But then there's political things behind it.
Yeah, so I'm not going to get into any of that, but I will say that it looks cool.
Well, I mean, even the game itself is supposed to be about what if. Apparently,
if extreme progressivism.
Yeah, because the guy basically came out and said, the story's about like what if social justice warriors took over the world, and I'm like, okay, you lost me. You lost me a bit there.
I don't know exactly what to say because I only read one thing on it, and then basically it was just supposed to be if the extreme social justice warriors on the internet won over the internet, won over society, and it's just supposed to be a 1984 in that direction instead of ultra conservative. It's ultra progressive.
I guess
I don't know. Offend me, bro.
This seems
that kind of stuff.
This seems like it could go very, very bad.
Absolutely, and I think it will. I'm just saying it looked cool. That's it.
I mean, we will get into political discussion on gaming, I'm sure, later in this podcast.
Absolutely.
On things that I am much more passionate about than this one, because this one's just kind of like, I don't know. I really don't know how I feel. Like it look. Yes, the game looked really cool, but
I don't know enough about because he got into a fight with some prominent gamer chick or something like that.
And I don't really even know, so I don't really want to make too much of an opinion on it because I'm ill-informed.
Yeah, that's I don't know any of the political side of it that much. I'm just saying.
I just know that it's there.
Game looks cool.
The game looked cool.
That's it. That's all.
The game looked cool. Will it be cool? I don't know.
We'll see.
It's not related to Microsoft, but we'll say I think they ended their conference strong with a third-party game. I guess we'll save that for later, though. Crackdown 3 was fun as always. They brought Terry Crews in to be Terry Crews.
Always going to be a winner.
Always fun. I'd never attempted to play the game just because of the lines and shit. And I'm like, whatever, it'll be out this year. Fuck it, who cares?
No, I didn't try. I know they did like this huge giveaway at the end of every day.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah, so you like have to get picked, and you go up on stage and you play Crackdown, I believe.
Would I be able to rub Terry Crews's abs?
No, but you could win a 40-inch 4K TV and shit like that.
It's not rubbing Terry Crews.
You know, you can get Terry Crews's designed.
I want to take a
controller
shower with Terry Crews.
Well, you know, there's VR experience.
I just want to get like a bunch of Old Spice and like lather him down.
So many fantasies are being won out for so many listeners right now.
And really, honestly, you're inhuman if you say you don't want that.
I mean, there are some beautiful men out there. I don't know if Terry Crews is the epitome of beautiful man.
Yes.
He is the epitome of athleticism and Renaissance.
He is a Greek statue.
Yeah, dude looks good, but I don't know if he's the one, you know, that could like get me there.
I think so.
But but yeah, so then Sea of Thieves coming along nicely.
Is that coming out this year? I don't even fucking remember.
I don't know. Last year they said it was coming out last year. This year,
I mean, the game looks cool, yes, but I feel like I've forgotten about like when it's even coming out. Like, is this even like coming out anymore? What? No, I think it's early 18. I think it's early 28. I think it's early 2018. So I think it's Crackdown and Forza 7 this year. Of course, Forza, whatever.
Forza. They made a really big deal out of pronouncing it properly this year.
Forza?
Forza. It's an Italian word. It's an Italian name, actually. But
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they made like a big deal out of pronouncing it right. And so now I just...
Well, they wanted to be Forza. Why didn't they put a fucking T in there?
Because it's Italian.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
Neither does Italian money, but it's still there.
That's true.
I mean, it's the lira is.
Don't they have euros?
Yeah, they got rid of the lira. But anyway, so I don't you know, the Sea of Thieves release date doesn't mean anything to me right now. I'm still excited about it, but
well, here's the thing. I'll say, you know, in general, here's what Microsoft showed. So the system does have more RAM than we thought, than originally thought. We thought it was 8, and then the guy said 9. So we thought it was 9 going into the show, and then it was 12. Whatever. Microsoft did everything to show me, hey, we've got some cool games coming out. Did nothing to convince me to buy an Xbox One X, whatever it's called.
Yeah, they did a complete 360 on Xbox.
I love that picture of like, you know, one Xbox One X box.
Yeah.
Where it's like a picture of a box with Xbox One Xbox, whatever. Who's on first? But yeah, they didn't do anything to convince me to buy an Xbox One X because my PC's still more powerful than the system.
Yeah.
And whatever. Like, okay.
But
your games are coming out on PC too? Awesome. I'm like, am I going to buy the system? No.
For people like, say, Elise, who they don't do gaming on PC. They're not interested in that. This is a serious there's a market there. Yeah, it's probably not as big as they would like to think it is. I don't think everyone who owns an Xbox is going to jump to an Xbox One X. No, just like everyone that owned a PS4 isn't going to jump.
Isn't going to jump to Pro, and like they might have more people going from Xbone to Xbone X. Because it is a bigger,
it's an actual jump.
Well, it's a bigger leap. It's not a new console, but it's a bigger leap. PS4 Pro's kind of like it came out too soon. They could have kept that in the cooker a little longer.
Yeah, and we were talking about how are they going to respond now to this massive improvement by Microsoft.
Well, here's my thing.
They're just going to start a new generation.
Yeah, I think Sony should have PS5 and it'd be 100% backwards compatible with PS4. That's how you do it. But no, I mean the Xbox X, it's nice. But yeah, if you have a gaming rig PC, there's really nothing there for you. If you're someone who only has a base model of Xbox or PS4, maybe it's something. Maybe it's something.
It's basically an $800.
If you somehow haven't jumped into consoles at all, then yeah, it's a good buy. Unless you are a strictly PC gamer. Like if you're a glorious PC master race and you've never bought a PS4 or an Xbone.
You're probably still not
going to buy an Xbox One X. You're just, it's really for basically launch model customers who maybe want something a little beefier. Maybe, I don't know. It's not for me. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I have a gaming rig PC. Go away.
The other thing is like Microsoft had like a lot of shit to give away this year.
Yeah, they had like a fuck ton of pins. Yeah. There was decks of cards.
Which, did you open those cards yet?
Well, I didn't open the packaging inside the box, but
I did. They're cool looking fucking cards.
Are they cool looking cards?
Yes,
cool, yeah.
I'll have to show you them.
I stole it right in the open.
I asked the guy just to hand me it.
And he did. See, you were like, you look at me like you did that right in front of his face. I'm like, he doesn't care.
I asked that same guy and he just handed it to me. But yeah, they had like a really terrible system for giving shit out, which meant like we know people who will not be named that got like 5 of everything that they were giving out just by just walking back to a different person and asking for it.
You know what? It's funny because
I'm sure they don't fucking
jumping
care.
ahead to Nintendo, they were giving away. You got stuff if you played Mario Odyssey, and I got to the end of it, and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any more, but thanks for playing." I went back to the exact same lady the next day, and I said, "Hey, I see you have stuff now. Can I get my thing for yesterday because I didn't have it?" And she's like, and she didn't remember me. And I said, "Who was it?" Well, I'm like, I'm not going to say it's you, but it's someone who looks just like you, wearing the same costume, And she's like, "Oh no, that was me yesterday." I was like, I told her the exact time I played and everything, and she's like, "Well, I would have given you a card." I'm like, "You didn't have a card because you didn't have anything left." But I had to convince it, and then I had to basically like plead my case to a couple people. They got it. Eventually, they gave in and gave me the stuff, but. They probably in the back of their minds thought, "Oh, he's just lying. He's just getting freebie stuff." I'm like, "No, I actually legitimately did what they wanted you to do, and I got the stuff for it." But they're like, and the guy's like, "Well, did you get a pin?" And I'm like, "No, they didn't have anything left. They told me just thanks for playing. Like you would have gotten a pin. You know what? Fuck you and your moles all over your eyelids, asshole." You know who you are if you're listening. But he was cool though. He eventually, gave me the shit. But like, it's like
he was cool, but fuck him. Fuck him.
But it was kind of like he gave me this really like snooty you would have gotten something if you played. Like no, that's why I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
It was like we're kind of like just one of those like customer service reps who's just done with their job, and it's like whatever. But
then Kenny gets 2 of them.
Yeah, motherfucker. I don't know what he did. Oh
Kenny's
no,
a magician.
Well, I didn't really care. I was just like, look, I don't need at the end of the day, I was like, if I didn't get one, I didn't get one. I'm just saying. I was just like, look, can I just have one because I actually did what I was supposed to do, and yeah, but. They got it to me eventually, but it was like I didn't really appreciate the snootiness of the whole like you would have gotten something if you did do it. Like,
okay, can
really?
I ask?
Dude?
Is that something that's new this year too? Because like, I feel like because there was extra people, it was open to the public. There was a lot more like.
And yeah, I heard about this too, where people were just going around places, asking, "What are they giving out here? What are they giving out here?" Like people were just. Going for swag to sell on eBay. Like they didn't even care about the convention. So, maybe there is a little bit to be said there that, it was day 2, so maybe the guy had been dealing with a lot of fucking scalpers all day long, and maybe he was sick of it, and he didn't have any. I guess he didn't. Well, I should say he didn't have any reason to believe I was any better. I did have a fucking media badge, but
they don't care. It's like people that on day 3 they sold their badges. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, people sold media badges. There was all sorts of stuff. Would sell them for like $500.
What for?
So that other people come in on the last day with media badges and shit.
I guess, but it's not going to get you anywhere.
I don't. I'm just telling you that.
You'd be a sucker to buy that.
Yeah.
And they didn't card me on the last day either. At any point.
They didn't card. They never carded me once, but
I got carded one time going into the media lounge. That was
really?
it. Not the second time. The first time.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, no, I mean, I only dealt with douchebaggery when I was trying to get back to find you guys at a certain booth. And guy was kind of a dickbag to me.
But I'll say this about Microsoft's booth. Like, yeah, they had a lot of cool swag. That was a terribly designed booth.
Yeah, there was one entrance and one exit.
It was, like, mostly just one corner was supposed to be your in and out, and they added, like, a little, like, wall. Like, a little carving out of the wall on the one side.
I mean, it was pretty big. It was pretty big carving the wall. It's just that you couldn't see it from the other side. So
yeah, well, it was a dumb booth. It was a big black rectangle
box. Yeah,
it was a big black X box.
Yeah, it was awful.
There was nothing special about it either. Like the outside and the inside were just black, flat, matte black.
It had cool lighting. That was it. and they barely ever used it.
And what was the point? I'm kind of like, you made a... Speaking of, another company who had a shitty-ass booth was fucking Fortress Take-Two. I don't even go in, because the thing was completely sealed off. Like, it was a big black... Well, not a big, but it was like... but not very height-wise, but it was a short black box.
Yeah.
Take-Two. And there was no windows, there was no doors, there was nothing.
Yeah, you weren't allowed in there unless you had a media badge, right?
Unless you had an appointment.
Ooh, shit.
So
they must have had some good shit to show, huh?
Not really. I haven't heard anything coming out of it, so I guess not.
Fucking nothing.
It was kind of one of those weird things. Like, why the fuck are you here?
But what do you think was the worst thing at Microsoft?
The design.
The design. Yeah.
The design of the booth was the worst thing. Like,
Microsoft had some interesting stuff to play though. Like I actually Lucky's Tale, Super Lucky's Tale, whatever.
Yeah, I watched it. It was like it doesn't look bad. It looks super generic, but
it was fun. And then Battle Chasers.
That was fun.
It looked cool. I mean,
I'm not like super on the isometric look of it. The battle system was fun, but it you know what it looked like to me? It looked like a cell shaded Baldur's Gate.
It did. Yes.
You know.
Yes, it did. What did I fuck up and say it looked like? Darkstalkers? I meant Darksiders, but I was saying...
well, I mean, yeah, the art is Joe Mad for Darksiders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually a fun game if you like the traditional turn-based battle. It's kind of reminiscent of like Final Fantasy X-esque.
I'm kind of like... I'm shocked because there weren't a lot of booth babes. And granted, like, she was actually knowledgeable about it, but there was 2 screens for it, and they had a booth babe. I mean, she was a paid model, but she also did 3D design.
Yeah, it was a 3D graphic designer, and I think she also she was actually applying to work at the company, too.
Yeah, but her job, what she was hired for, was that she was a booth model. But
she also knew the game from playing it so much at PAX, so she could actually tell you how to play the game and go through it. So
it's weird to me that, like, the one place that I saw an actual booth babe, like, full-on... Like, I mean, she wasn't dressed like a slutty booth babe or anything. She was in the armor from the game.
Yeah, she was Garrison, the main character, just a chick version of him.
Yeah, but her armor was legit, right? It wasn't we're not talking about she was wearing pasties and some bullshit. Her armor was legit.
Yeah, it was 3D printed.
But, like, how the fuck did Battle Chasers end up being the one? It was like that, and Namco had a bunch of women working there, but like they weren't booth babes. You know what I mean?
They were like the closest thing to it.
Yeah, Nyko is normally the one that has a bunch of booth babes. Yeah, Nyko normally does.
Xseed.
Xseed?
Xseed over in the first party hall had booth babes.
Huh.
They were kind of just cosplayers for hire. They didn't have any fucking idea.
Well, yeah, but I thought
they were there to look pretty in anime. So I saw a couple of those.
Yeah, so Microsoft had some cool shit. Its conference was solid, but its booth was It had some cool shit to give away, so that made me spend some time there. Just because that was actually the one place that I could try shit. They had, how disorganized their main area was, their like lines actually moved. Like they were moving people through their lines. No one else. Other people would have like fucking 5-hour lines. Ubisoft had 4 or 5 hour lines starting at the beginning. So go play Assassin's Creed on Xbox in the Xbox booth because that's a 45-minute wait.
Yeah.
And no one believed me. I was like, no, it's a 45-minute wait. And Welzenbach was like, no, it's 5 hours at Ubisoft. And I was like, I don't fucking care what it's at Ubisoft. It's 45-minute wait. At Microsoft,
it's always been like kind of like a little like hidden secret is that Microsoft will have a bunch of third-party shit, and you can actually go and play it way easier there.
Yeah. But so let's move on to Sony, the booth that I spent the least amount of time in this year.
I walked through it once.
I spent maybe 25 minutes. Battlefront 2 looks cool. It does. It looks much better and much more polished than...
I mean, as far as playable games go, there was hardly anything at Sony's
fucking
booth.
Nothing. Yeah.
They had like Battlefront 2 in the middle.
Yeah.
Right? And they had a Call of Duty setup and a Destiny 2 setup. So they had like 3 games there. Shooty, shoot, fuck you, shoot.
And they had a Spider-Man theater experience.
Sort of. So, yes, they did. But in the middle of their booth was the three big McShoot-shoots. Destiny 2 and Call of Duty and Battlefront 2. And then on one side was all kind of like GT. Hey, GT, come play GT.
Look, it's the Sony Forza.
And then the other side was this huge wall of like these big, giant, theater 3D models of
motifs
of Spider-Man and Uncharted and Days Gone and not God of War, but
God of War had a really cool mural. I have a picture of it. Maybe I'll post it somewhere. But a really cool mural. But that's it. And someone said it was playable somewhere, but I never.
Yeah, and then like Monster Hunter World, I think, was the other thing that had a big relief on. So Sony had this thing where it's like these big, giant, like they look like things you'd find at a theme park.
Yeah,
like Spider-Man is on top of this helicopter, all tied up in webs and. Like this.
It looked cool.
Yeah, it looked cool, and all it was go into this theater, watch someone play the game, or talk about the game,
and then come out of the theater.
So it was another one of those Sony's like big, fancy, watch a video.
Yeah, Sony didn't have a lot for its booth going on, but the best thing that I saw. God of War 4 looked pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
It's coming along. Best thing I saw being played, because I didn't want to wait in the massive line, Battlefront 2, unlike Battlefront 1 last year, this looks pretty fucking... It looks much more solid than Battlefront did last year. So, we'll see. We'll see about that.
Well, crazy thing to me is that there's nothing coming out this year by Sony, for Sony, besides GT. Like they got Uncharted in August, which is more of just like a delayed, late coming DLC.
But isn't Naughty Dog basically Sony?
They are owned by Sony.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that comes out in August. And that's just the delayed ass DLC for Uncharted 4. And GT Sport. Every other big game was next year. Everyone.
Yeah, they don't really have holiday stuff.
Yeah, they don't. Because they're banking on, again, their 3 shoots.
Wait, Battlefront 2 isn't this year?
That's EA.
Oh, fuck, you're right. Yeah. It's not a... Yeah, you're right. Totally.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking it was an exclusive because it was in their booth. I didn't see it anywhere else.
No, it's... Days Gone is next year. Spider-Man's next year. God of War is next year. Shadow of the Colossus is next year.
Yep.
Last of Us 2 probably not next year, but a year after or whatever. But next year.
How do you feel about Shadow of the Colossus, by the way?
That's cool.
You think they're going to add mobs in?
It's so soon after the PS3 HD version that it's almost kind of like... that's cool, I guess, but...
They got to have something else added to it besides...
Well, the big question is, are they going to add in the Colossi they had to cut for time reasons on PS2? Because there was like a good chunk of them they actually had to like just remove really late in development. So maybe this is the time to do it.
What was the argument against having mobs again?
I don't fucking know.
There was just like, I mean, I've heard two. One was that like, oh, it ruins the feel and the grandness of the game
because art.
Yeah, and then the other thing was just like, oh, with the bosses being as complex as they are, they couldn't have mobs.
It like we both kind of predicted at one point too with Sony. There was like a little corner of their booth that was dedicated to VR.
Yeah, like nothing on VR.
The little back corner of VR.
Yeah, like a couple of horror games. Kenny's still holding the flame or holding the torch for that shit. But there wasn't really anything this year.
VR, I feel, took a real backseat. Like you had a little segment at Sony dedicated to it, and a little segment at Bethesda, which was like, hey, we're gonna port some old stuff to VR.
Yeah, I don't think it's dead yet. I think there's a chance.
I think its retail game market is kind of
gone.
It's wailing around. It's in limbo.
How many units do you think got sold back to GameStop?
Sold back? I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing. There was like right before E3, I was getting some supplies for the week, and I decided, fuck it, I'll just drop into Target or Best Buy, and I'll see if they have any Switches. Just because.
Yeah, and you grabbed one.
Not that day, not before E3. They didn't have any, but you know what they did? I did see PSVRs. And apparently some people say, like, I wish I could find a VR. I'm like, man, I had no trouble finding a PSVR when I was out looking for a Switch. And because there was a bunch of stores like all within a very close proximity of each other that that sell
Would
switches.
sell stuff, yeah.
That sell switches. So I basically was able to hit up like 4 stores like in a row that carry switches normally, and they didn't have it, but they did have PSVRs, or at least a couple of them did. And then someone, I don't even know if I should be saying this on the podcast, but like, there's a website that basically tracks the movement of SKUs.
Yeah.
And this guy told me about it, and I went to one store that was kind of a far off drive, but it's a nice drive, you know. Then the store basically said, yeah, it's been saying that for a while now. It's a fuck up in our system. Like, we really don't have them. So I was like, oh, god damn it. I drove out here for nothing. Oh, well, nice drive.
Yeah.
Went home. And then, like, I woke up like a day later, and I looked at it again, and they're like, hey, 2 SKUs last night were sent to a local Target, like the one right by you. Or something like that.
And you got there just in time to pick up the last one.
No, they didn't even put it out yet. Like,
Awesome.
I went there, and the lady was like, I don't think so. Let me call it in. And there's a guy in the back like, yeah, like, which one does you want? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck, just one.
Did they have the gray and the
well, you
color?
saw, no, well, I don't think so. I think they only had grays, but yeah, you saw that I got the gray one. It was just one of those things where it was just kind of like, oh, this website, just keeps a count of SKUs and tells you, when they were in, when they were out, when that was, and it's just kind of like, oh, here, one's pretty close to you. All right, do.
What do you think was the worst thing at Sony?
The lack of games, honestly, like the lack of playable games. Okay, yes, GT's big, and the 3 shoots are big, shooty-shoots are big, but there was Sony used to have lots of third-party games in their booths. They didn't have any third-party games in their booth this year.
Well, they had Density and
I guess technically, yes, they had Density, Call of Duty, and Battlefront. But I mean, like, lots of games, indie games, even Vita games. Obviously, Vita's dead, but
hey, they might come out with another one.
That would be such a bad idea. But yeah, it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, wow, I feel like Sony they spent good money on their booth because they had these big fucking amusement park looking things for next year's games, but on the other hand, it's like they could have not been there, and it wouldn't have changed much for me.
I mean, I know that
it was the only place in the show floor to play Star Wars, though, because EA doesn't have a booth there anymore. So it makes sense to me how their appointments were constantly just fucked.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people were looking at Density and fucking, so their appointments for Density were packed all the time. I didn't even know that they had Call of Duty World War II there.
Oh yeah, Activision and Sony.
Yeah. But in terms of like just booth, nothing really special about it.
And I think you were telling me how like Matt McMuscles thought Sony had the best press conference, and I was kind of like, what the fuck? And I'm like, everybody
thought he was trolling. And
what he was saying, to his credit, is that their conference was focused strictly on just the games. There was no bullshit talk. There was no like, I'm going to come out here and tell you how many units we've sold and how awesome that is.
Yeah.
Like, no one was wasting time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, their conference started, you got a little musical or whatever, a little Cirque du Soleil number, and then, bam, here's the game. Here's the next game. Here's the next game. We're done. Like, not many games, but it was like a good long look at pretty much what they did have to show. So on the format scale, okay, I get what he's saying. They didn't waste time. They didn't bullshit you. They didn't have like any.
But that was Xbox too. Xbox didn't waste that much fucking time.
Yes, they were better than normal for sure. They had their moments where this guy's sitting there talking, we built the most amazing thing. It has a water vapor cooler inside it. And who fucking cares? The guy who comes out and talks about, here's Forza 7. This is the brand new Abu Dhabi Bugatti.
What about that fucking guy?
Wachowski, whatever car it is. I don't fucking...
That fucking guy that did the esports.
And then the guy with the esports. Oh yeah, esports. Oh yeah, he's got a big bow now. He's coming out there. Oh my god, he's got a bow. Like, the guy's just like shouting.
Leaning into it and just...
Leaning in and shouting. And who the fuck is this? And like, yeah. So... Microsoft did definitely have their bullshit moments. They're like Phil Smith. We came out, we introduced online, and then we introduced HD, and now we're going to 4K, blah, 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 fucking high. Yeah, the Xbox had their time-wasting moments.
Okay,
fuck, even fair. Nintendo did in their 30-minute time-wasting moments. But yeah.
Battle means fun.
But here's the thing, though. As far as format goes, yeah, Sony had a good conference format-wise. Sony had a terrible conference announcement-wise. They did not announce hardly anything new. Shadow of the Colossus was kind of a surprise, and Horizon DLC.
I forgot about the Horizon DLC.
Yeah, it's because DLC. But it's like Horizon DLC and Shadow of the Colossus, and then maybe I guess some new VR games. But for the most, other than that, like it was all last year's games or PSX games. Like it was not new shit at all. It was stuff we'd known, we'd seen, we'd had details about. Like none of it was like new. Like it was a weak conference for Sony as far as announcements and release. Like new stuff comes. Like as far as info and announcements goes, it was a weak as fuck conference for Sony. And it's like I'm excited for games coming out on that platform still, but that was a miserable conference for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely still excited for games that are coming out for it. I just I agree. I don't think they killed it this year. There's some people that are saying that they definitely killed it, and I think our predictions. I know in our predictions people were saying that we were being Sony fanboys because we were hating on Microsoft, but I've like 180'd on that. I'm like, Microsoft had the most solid E3, except maybe Ubisoft.
Yeah, kind of.
Ubisoft had a pretty fucking solid E3.
Ubisoft had their best conference they've ever had, probably.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into them when we get to third party, but let's jump over to Nintendo.
I feel Nintendo's a little unsung here. I know I'm the fanboy, but here's the thing. Hear me out on this. Nintendo had a solid conference for their E3 Direct.
It
E3
wasn't bad.
Showcase, whatever it was.
It wasn't bad.
The 30-minute conference, I feel people give them a little too... Don't give them enough credit, because they showed everything you knew, and then they showed everything you did, and they showed things you didn't know and things that you wanted. It gave you the surprises.
I mean, whoever's writing their presentations needs to be shot.
Okay.
But, I agree that...
it started with it started with a horrible lifestyle video, and then it had Reggie talking bullshit, and then finally it got to the games with Xenoblade 2, but, I mean, they showed a brand new Kirby game, they showed a brand new Yoshi game, they showed a logo from Metroid Prime 4, they announced that the game people really wanted is actually happening, they announced Rocket League, and it will be crossplay and shit on their press conference and stuff. So I feel they had a solid showing. And on top of that, again, like they had Mario Odyssey, they had Xenoblade 2, they had Fire Emblem Warriors, Splatoon 2 and Pokken are coming. You already fucking know that. Oh, they announced that a Pokemon mainline or just a main Pokemon RPG
is going to happen
on the Switch, even though they didn't have literally nothing else to show for it. But they basically, the guy saying, yeah, I think it was more like, I know, we fucked up with that Pokemon Direct. We swear we're making a Switch version. So that happened. And then they followed that up with the announcement of Metroid 2 remake for 3DS right after that. So I feel Nintendo had a very good showing. It wasn't their greatest ever, but that was a solid showing for Nintendo.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I don't think that there's a ton of games that I'm like amped for.
Well, the thing is that it's what I said. There will not be any third-party support on that system. That system was never going to get it. It's too weak.
Yeah, actually, question: Mario vs. Rabbids, is that going to be on Switch?
Yeah, it's only on Switch.
It's only on Switch? For some reason, I know I overheard someone saying that it's coming out for everything. I was like, a fucking Mario game on everything? Not ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's going to be their one third part.
The only thing it would be like on 3DS, but no, it's only coming out on Switch.
That's what I thought.
And that's another thing. That's a surprise game there. I mean, they showed most of it at the Ubisoft conference, but that was probably one of the surprises of the show. Like, when you heard about it, Mario and Rabbids, oh my god, that sounds so stupid. And granted, I really do wish it was Mario and the Rayman characters versus the Rabbids, rather than Mario's and Rabbids versus Rabbids. I think they really missed an opportunity there, but the game itself is looking really solid.
Yeah, actually, it's one of the games that I ended up being excited about.
Yeah,
I mean, I liked XCOM. So.
And honestly, it's probably gonna be my first Switch game that I buy.
Is it coming out fall?
August.
Oh, it's coming out August. Yeah, that'll be your first one.
Late August, but August.
You mean Mario Kart's not going to be your first purchase?
I don't know. I'm bored of Mario Kart 8 hour, and it's been out forever.
I'm debating buying it.
Doesn't really have the same interest for me.
I haven't played Mario Kart since it was on the goddamn GameCube, so.
So yeah, no, that game was a solid entry. Again, these are solid things. I hope Nintendo does more partnership games like that, because that's the only way they're going to get any support. But solid showing for Nintendo, I think. I fucking bought a Switch last weekend.
Yeah, basically decided it's time.
Well, I decided that like this, I'm looking around. Okay, we're getting into like middle late June. It's not becoming any easier to find, so now it's like I'll just fucking get it now. I don't want to be scrambling, as we approach Mario Odyssey's release and be like, oh fuck, I gotta get one. I just don't want to deal with it. Just give me the file. Just fucking nip it in the bud.
So, what do you think Nintendo's best in show was? Obviously, Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey. And I'm going to be really lame about this. I'm going to say that was the best game I played at the show.
Yeah?
It is.
I didn't get to play it. I got to watch some of it. I didn't spend like a shitload of time in Nintendo.
Great booth, though.
Yeah, that booth was impressive as fuck. It was really cool.
Yeah.
The reason why I wasn't really getting to spend a lot of time in Nintendo was obviously the first 2 days we spent a shitload of time in Namco and Capcom. Well, at least I did with Max.
And then I spent all of my time in Namco day 3.
Yeah. Day 3 I spent all my time in Xbox and Ubisoft. But I think Nintendo is a lot more solid about the Switch than people expected. And I think this E3 proves that they're going to support it.
They have a good release schedule right now where they have at least one first-party game a month till the end of the year, including Xenoblade.
Yep.
That's a very solid thing to see. That's a good thing. Like we are definitely getting games every month.
But did they announce anything this year? Did they announce anything at E3 that's going to be coming out early next year?
Kirby, Yoshi.
Kirby and Yoshi.
Yeah, Kirby and Yoshi. And then Metroid Prime 4 will probably way next fall at earliest.
If it even comes out next year.
If it even comes out.
All they had was a fucking
then as we get closer to it, we're definitely going to hear more about what's coming out next year as well on the Switch early next year. So there will be something like that's where the Smash Brother port's happening, is early next year. Probably. Yeah, I still think it's coming. It's funny because they updated the system to 3.0 today, and suddenly these May Flash GameCube adapters started working after the update on the Switch. Huh. Yeah, why do you think that is?
Well, alright.
Because they're gearing up for Smash. Like, all of a sudden the GameCube adapters work now? Yeah, I'll bet you I have a pretty good hunch why that is.
You think they're going to do any GameCube ports for... like emulator on Switch?
I think it's a very high possibility they're going to virtual con.
They're going to do an RE4, aren't they? And my dick is going to be so hard.
Capcom should port RE4.
Comes out.
Capcom should port RE4 to the Switch.
That'd be excellent.
Actually, that would be like the first legit portable version of RE4.
Yep,
really
right.
Think about it. Why haven't they announced that yet?
Yes.
I think they should port RE4 to the Switch.
Can I tell you that last night it came to me just as I was falling asleep that they could port RE4 onto the Switch.
They could port 4, 5, and 6 on there if they wanted.
And I was just sitting there like, yes.
Yeah, they should port RE4 to the Switch. Why the fuck haven't they done
Especially if they do the HD version.
Yeah, do it.
I'm so down with that shit. God, I will own every version of RE4 that has come out.
Yeah, I think solid showing for. I think Mario Odyssey is really good. Like it's bringing back a lot of Mario 64 isms into a Mario Galaxy style look and feel. Once again, Koizumi's producing. He's not directing it, but the guy is. I love the guy so much, but he brought back the character Pauline, Mario's original girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what do we do with Pauline? Because,
make Mario a mobster?
Well, she's the mayor of New Donk City. So that's where the story is there. And she, I guess, saved the town from some great catastrophe. Like, she's got like this dank lore going in behind her. So she saved the city from some just, like huge disaster or something, and now she's the mayor, and she's like the singer of this jazz band.
Good.
Here's the other crazy thing. You know why a game's called Mario Odyssey?
Wait, the jazz band isn't the crazy thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know why it's called Super Mario Odyssey?
Because Mario's lost, and he's trying to make his way home, just like the original Odyssey.
It's based off the Odyssey.
So it's the Odyssey.
He's like a ghost. We were in the Odyssey where it's like a ghost, and he gets back, and he's because in the Odyssey, I forget it's not Homer or whoever.
It's Odysseus.
Odysseus. You know, with
the Odyssey is named after Odysseus,
okay,
which means
gotcha.
Odyssey.
I don't know why I never put that together.
Ulysses.
Yeah,
in Russian / English.
And I guess he's something about like at some point he's like a ghost and he's visiting like his own wife's funeral.
No,
or something like that. Some extent like that.
He goes to his wife's new marriage dressed as a beggar when he finally gets home, and he finishes the competition to win her heart.
So you know what the plot of the game is?
Is he's going home and he's going to win Paulina over?
No, Peach is getting married to Bowser.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then there's like this whole thing with the hat with Cappy, who's like a ghost, who's like another major theme of Odyssey. Like, he basically came out and said, "Yeah, I'm like, it's a very obviously Mario-ish, loose retelling of the Odyssey."
Okay.
I'm like, what?
I mean, the Odyssey is a really good premise for an adventure game, so yeah, bring it on, I guess.
So it's about Mario having to win Peach away from marrying Bowser, or whatever, or stopping in Bowser's wedding. So it is
a reluctant Peach, or a Peach just kind of like, I'm down with this dino dick.
Well, we kind of made that joke.
Yeah. He's gonna rob her of her beautiful wedding night with that big steely man.
Well, that's the thing. Every land he's going to is based on something related to a wedding, where it's like he's going to New Donk City to hire the wedding singers. And then there's like a land where he's trying to get there's the food-based land where he's getting the catering for the wedding, and something's based on like the clothing or whatever, yada, yada, yada. And again, a big theme of this game is Mario can dress up. You can change his outfit in the game. You can buy him new outfits for it and stuff.
Wow.
And he's basing the game off the fucking Odyssey.
The fucking Odyssey.
I just find that like so crazy and cool that it's like, of course, this team is the one doing something like really crazy like that, like abstract like that.
Yeah, and of course Koizumi is fucking all for it.
Yeah,
he loves that shit.
And he's the producer he's the main producer of the game. So
yeah.
He's not the director, but he's the main producer. So it's kind of just like, this guy's got like crazy ideas. I really wonder what would have happened if he had become a director sooner within the company.
He probably would have gotten a lot more stronger stories, if not more weird games.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's always been weird. Majora's Mask and shit like that. So
that's true.
And yeah, he signed my Link's Awakening.
Yeah, and you almost asked him for a picture until you realized he was uncomfortable with it, right?
Well, I was going to, and I really, I hate doing that, but it's kind of like, if I was ever going to ask someone for a picture, I guess this would be the kind of person to do it.
Not Michael Bay?
No.
You don't want a picture with Michael Bay?
No picture.
No, it's Koizumi, not Michael Bay. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, as I was like having a very, rough conversation with him in Japanese, some guy just butted in literally between us and was like, wanted to get a picture, and he was like, he started to bail the fuck out after that. He was just like, really, no. And then he literally follows him and like holds his camera up in front of them like selfie style, like wait, like he like follows him as he's trying to walk away and like holds it up, and he just kind of like awkwardly smiles. And
not as a shitty question. I don't mean this in any shitty way to the other green badges. Was it green badge?
I don't think so. I think it was a media.
It was a fucking media.
Yeah.
God, dick.
It was obviously one of the Nintendo fan site, because no one else knows who the fuck Koizumi is besides the ravenous Nintendo fan site, so it was obviously a Nintendo fan site person.
I had been getting to hear a bunch of like horror stories of the general public doing things at booths.
Yeah.
And so I was just wondering if maybe it was like adding fuel to the flames. But for instance, they were like green badges that were doing basically what you did, where you leaned over and grabbed, just trying to do that as they were like, someone was getting handed a Nintendo hat, or like the hat and stuff, and like people trying to snatch it and run away. Shit like that. Green badge. Yeah. Or like, fuck, what was it? Like, green badges going up and taking all the collectible bags and taking it out to someone outside to like take to their car because they're going to sell them all on eBay and shit like that.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I'm like, I can't believe people would pay money for these bags. I mean, they're nice, I guess, but see, the thing is, I'm
collectible.
I'm such a like whatever person when it comes to swag and tchotchke and shit. Like, I just don't. Like, it has to be neat for me to care, and I really 99 times out of 100, I just don't.
Same. Usually it has to be something that's like generally kind of interesting.
Yeah, something cool or unique.
Like this little fucking cow that JJ got me from Natsumi.
Oh my god, I would not. This just fell apart in my hand.
No, it's just the base plate.
Okay, I would not give a shit about this at all.
I mean, I didn't fight for the fucking thing, but it's a cute little fucking cow.
It's a little plastic cow.
Tchotchke. Yeah.
Whatever.
From
Natsumi.
Yeah. Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
But the pins I really liked. I think that they should get rid of all the other swag and just do pins.
Yeah, pins were actually kind of cool. Like
pins were.
There was a guy I talked to on the third day after talking to him on the second day, and he's just like, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, I didn't give you these." And he just reaches into his pocket and he hands me like this handful of pins for all the games in the booth.
Wait, what?
NIS America, NISA America.
Oh fuck.
The Sega booth, the other side.
That's sick. I didn't.
So yeah, that's why on the last day I had like five pins I think all over my lanyard because the guy just gave them like a whole bunch to me.
I got
I got to say, like, that's a good question. What is your underdog game? What is your sleeper hit of the show? Like, sleeper hit's a weird term because it's like sleeper hit's like, oh, not a lot of people know about it.
Well,
what is your sleeper hit game that you kind of like had no expectations of going in, and it's like, you know what, this game was actually pretty awesome.
Oh, Mario Rabbids. Totally. I thought it was going to be a complete shit show. And it actually ended up being a game that I'm looking forward to now.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking about a game that I didn't, because I wasn't expecting it to get announced, and it got announced and I'm all fucking like giddy for it, Evil Within 2.
Oh yeah, Evil Within 2.
I wasn't paying attention. I guess a bunch of people knew that it was going to be announced. I had no fucking idea. So when that got announced, I was, oh my god, like half chubbed. Like I was sitting there like, oh my god. And a lot of people don't understand why. It's just I had such a good time playing the game, and I realized the game was jank. Yeah. I totally admit the game is jank. I just had such a good time streaming it and stuff, and I did voices for all the diaries and all that shit, and so...
It was a good trailer. It was long as fuck trailer, but...
It was, but it was a pretty sick trailer. It was a pretty cool trailer.
I'm excited for it. And it's coming out in October, like every fucking thing in the world is now.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to prioritize the fuck out of this year.
Yeah, October's gonna be rough for everyone this year.
Suck dick.
For me, the underdog game of the show, there'll be a video of it, I think, on my channel by now, is Ys 8. Lachromos of Dana, or whatever the fuck that means. But Ys is a long running action RPG series, started on the TurboGrafx.
Oh, fuck. How did I forget? No, the sleeper hit for me was Ninokuni 2. Because I had no expectations of it. It's a JRPG. What the fuck do I care? But,
yeah.
But then I fucking got to try it at what's it called? Namco booth while Max was doing some... This is the first day. So I got to try it the first day, and you guys didn't try it till the third day. And actually, I'm actually pretty excited about it. I'm down for that. One thing that I should point out, it is not turn-based combat.
No, they fixed the fuck out of the combat for the game.
So a lot of people are sitting there like, he's going to play a JRPG? Whoa, cool your tits. Okay, I'm not doing turn-based. I'm doing a JRPG, yes. I'm technically playing a JRPG right now. I'm streaming Yakuza 0. But it's more of like a beat-em-up. It's all the fights are instances, and it's technically a fucking...
If anything, it's kind of like the evolution of Shenmue.
Okay, I'll buy that. Yeah. But anyway, so like people last night when I was streaming it, I had one of my largest viewerships on my own, and someone was like, "I can't believe there's a YoVideogames guy playing a JRPG," and I was all like, you know, I guess peer pressure got me into this because a couple of viewers are like, "You have to fucking do this," and I did. I gave in. I was like, "Oh, fucking do it," and I'm loving it. I'm all about it. I'm gonna give my
I
guys
definitely
some
want.
snakeskin
I've
shoes.
wanted to play Yakuza 0 for a little while.
It's pretty fucking sick, and all the voice acting is Japanese. And like you will recognize some of the guys as big Japanese actors / voice actors because they modeled all their faces after the voice actors.
Right.
Like I can't remember his name for the life of me, but it's basically Japanese Elvis as the main bad guy, Kuze. And I'm having such a good time with it. I actually was considering doing just a late night stream tonight after I get done recording everything, but I got to do another podcast after this.
But yeah, so yeah, Ninokuni 2 I think is definitely one to watch out for because they fixed the fuck out of the battle system and now it's not rank anymore.
Looks good.
Doesn't have Ghibli cutscenes this time, sadly, but what are you gonna do?
No, you can't have everything you wanted.
No, but yeah, there was a lot of good action. That's actually what I ended up playing the most of this year was a lot of RPGs, most of them action RPGs.
Yeah.
Ninokuni 2 I played the last day and I really liked it. The only thing I didn't like about the fact was that the demo was basically 2 different boss battles.
Pretty much.
So it was kind of like, God damn it, I wish I could have had a little bit of whatever running around.
There wasn't really a lot of wandering around. I know.
Right.
And plus, the overworld, you look a little chibi.
Yeah, I don't like that design decision at all.
It's not that bad. It's not as bad as some other games would do it. Like fucking think about Final Fantasy VII, the chibi ass bullshit.
Well, you looked funny in those games.
But I mean, it didn't look terrible. But it definitely switches to a chibi style when you're running around in the overworld. I don't know about in towns.
No,
they didn't really have it in towns.
You started in a town technically, and it wasn't. But yeah, it's just the overworld map.
Oh, maybe I started the demo late because I started in the overworld.
Okay. Well, yeah, when you started in a town, or if you're in a town or anywhere in somewhere, it's not. But when you're on the overworld map, you're a little chibi figure, and it's dumb looking,
and you hate it.
Dumb looking, whatever.
All right, so
I get what they're going after, but yeah.
What was worst in show for Nintendo before we jump to third party?
Worst in show?
You're gonna say Fire Emblem.
Yeah, because they had one demo unit for the whole fucking show floor,
and it had a big crowd all 3 days.
Like I don't feel however you want about Warriors games, but the fact that they went to E3 and brought one fucking demo station for the entirety of the show floor that wasn't like exclusive appointment media. For Fire
Emblem. Didn't Nintendo not have enough demo stations in general?
Sure, you could argue that, but they had one for Fire Emblem Warriors.
Which isn't that one of their more popular series?
Just one.
Well, Fire Emblem.
It's
anyway.
popular enough that it could have gotten more than fucking one.
Your buddy Chris.
Yeah.
He waited in line for that, didn't he?
He gave up.
Oh, he gave up. Yeah. He almost made it.
Whatever. It's coming out this year anyways.
He'll be fine.
Look, play Hyrule Warriors again. It's the same goddamn thing.
Play any of the Warriors.
Play any of the Warriors games. Same fucking thing.
Alright, so third party. Should we lump them all together, or do you want to go...
We'll just go through them. What I was saying earlier, Microsoft ended their conference strong because of EA BioWare's Anthem. That looked cool.
Sick.
Now, it looked a really bullshitty, really cinematic, really... oh yeah, this is like, a very heavily scripted sequence of a guy playing the game and going out and meeting buddies and shooting.
Oh,
heavily scripted.
Never going to look like that.
No, it won't. It won't. But the idea is sound. Because it takes the idea of Destiny, but it doesn't make it look like boring, desolate jank. I don't know. Like, nothing about Destiny's ever looked... And there was some definitely density-looking things about Anthem, but... It looked cooler. The jetpack mechanic and the diving underwater and the more co-op-y nature of it.
I think the reason why I'm so amped about it is it looks like an updated PSO.
Right, yeah. It's definitely got some vibe of that.
It's got a little bit of that going on.
I know it won't look that good. I know it won't play that cinematically. I know it won't be anything close to what they showed at this year's E3. That was all complete bullshit. But... the general idea of it, the concept I feel is sound enough that it might actually be worth checking out. So I am actually kind of excited for Anthem.
Yeah,
Modestiny.
That shit did look pretty good. And that was EA.
Yeah, that was EA. Well, EA owns BioWare.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. BioWare that brought you such beauties as
Mass Effect
Mass Effect
Andromeda. Oh boy!
So yeah,
this is their comeback tour.
Like that. Yeah, maybe it will be their comeback. Ubisoft had a solid showing. Oh yeah, we should talk about Battlefront 2 and EA's. Battlefront 2 does look good, but isn't EA like on the verge? I've heard this year that EA's kind of fucked if they don't have like a solid fucking hit in Battlefront 2 that like they're not doing good.
No, they're doing fine. They'll be fine.
But yeah, so
FIFA and Madden cover the whole fucking company.
FIFA. Yeah, so EA is EA.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ubisoft, pretty fucking cool. Fractured Butthole.
Good showing. Fractured Butthole. Mario Rabbids.
They're giving away like special T-shirts, custom T-shirts for Butthole. But
Far Cry 5 looks fun.
Far Cry 5 does look cool.
It's got co-op apparently through the whole thing, so that's awesome. Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed, where it's like you want to love it, but you know it's going to play like butt.
Yeah, for those of you...
Skull and Bones was kind of exciting for a half a second, and then I realized you never get off the boat, and then I lost interest immediately.
It's all ship combat?
Yeah.
Hey.
Lost interest immediately. The most depressing thing of the show was reading about Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's a complete fucking lie.
Well, what was it?
So someone actually did get to see like gameplay of it, and it's not Beyond Good and Evil. Michael Ansel can cry his fucking French ass off all he wants on stage in front of millions of people, but this is nothing that anyone who waited these fucking 13, 15 years wanted.
No puzzles, no stealth, no...
Nobody wanted a game where you create a custom avatar, and the point of the game is to build up your ship's crew and then play in an online setting with other players. Like, the fuck does that have to do with Beyond Good and Evil?
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's Beyond Good and Evil 2. It's not Beyond Good and Evil. It's basically Ubisoft's fucking furry version of Mass Effect. But more freeform, less John Shepard, more whoever you want to be.
So there is no alien threat. There is no authoritarian government.
Well, there's an authoritarian government, but it's like you start out as a nobody in the seedy underbelly of whatever fucking galaxy, and you create your custom avatar icon, and you build them up, and then eventually you get a ship, and then you hire a crew, and then you interact with other players in a seamless, real-time, online, ever-changing world, online experience. That no one fucking wanted that from Beyond Good and Evil. Nobody but Michael Ansel's weepy French butthole wanted that from a sequel to Beyond Good and Evil 2.
So,
or Beyond Good and Evil 1, making Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I'm going to give you a scenario here. They were making a different game and they named it Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Well, so what happened
because
was
they thought
the
nobody
Beyond
would
Good and
give a
Evil
shit about this game unless they named it something.
The whole thing reeks of Ubisoft not greenlighting it unless they did this. To me, like, because the Beyond Good and Evil they showed that got leaked in 2008 for Xbox 360 was canceled and scrapped. This whole thing seems like they were not going to make this game unless they did it this way. Because Ubisoft probably has no fucking faith in it because it was a flop commercially, the first game. And now this game's going to have all kinds of early access shit and user polled creative input, from people as development continues. It's actually like not even it's only just starting development as it turns out. Blah blah blah. Like this whole thing was this giant fucking lie that Ubisoft ended their press conference on.
I was so excited about this just an hour ago.
Yeah.
I was still very excited.
Yeah, and I think it was a Polygon article or someone played an actual really rough version, like untextured. But, the concept's there, and you can see clips of it and shit online, and it's not Beyond Good and Evil. It's the setting is, sure, but the gameplay, the what you do, the goals, everything is nothing like the original game. Nothing.
Wow. That,
It was a waste of fucking time is what it was.
Mildly depressing.
Like, you could have called it Beyond Good and Evil something, subtitle. Why did you put a 2 on it? It's a prequel anyways, but you put a 2 on it anyways. It plays nothing like the first game. It's not even in the same fucking genre. Why does it have this Beyond Good and Evil 2 on it? Because
they hate me and they want to shit on my dreams.
They do. They want to shit on everyone's dream. I'm like, I'm so disillusioned with Michael Ansel right now. Like, really, you got up on stage and openly wept and cried about how you finally get to present the game we've all been waiting for. Except it's going to look and play and feel nothing like the game you've all been waiting for.
Damn it!
Give me money.
Wow. Well, okay. So I guess that's the loser of the Ubisoft.
I think the disingenuousness of the whole thing is the loser of it for me.
Damn it!
Like, you get people all pumped and excited with this CG trailer for, you know, this revival of this franchise people have been asking for forever, and then, you know, afterwards you basically quietly reveal to some select members of the press, oh yeah, by the way, it doesn't actually play anything like Beyond Good and Evil. You don't actually do anything you expected to do.
But don't tell anyone. We want their money.
You know, we were really just making like an MMO. And
Fuck.
we're really just making an MMO, and it's going to have all kinds of early access stuff to it. People get to, you know, play it early, and this is what we want to do.
Well,
thanks, Ubisoft.
Let's talk Bethesda.
Oh, Ubisoft.
God damn it. So Bethesda obviously has The Evil Within 2.
Yeah.
It's my winner. It's my winner. Wolfenstein.
And it has Wolfenstein 2.
Wolfenstein.
They both come out within 2 weeks of each other, I think.
Hits two different crowds.
Well, yeah, and Wolfenstein, I think, comes out the same day as Mario Odyssey. And Assassin's Creed.
My brother was like, yeah, I mean, I'm so disappointed Bethesda had nothing but VR, so I was like, are you fucking kidding me? They have 2 AAA titles, major fucking titles, coming out in October.
1 month.
Yeah, it's like, they're fucking busting ass. Like, they're pumping shit out.
Yeah. They had one segment for VR, which was Doom VR, which is not Doom, but Doom VR. It's a game where you don't get to walk around in VR.
Rail shooter?
No, you point and click style to where you want to go, and then you can aim and shoot.
Oh.
But Skyrim and Fallout 4 will have VR versions. Like, you can just play it in VR. As far as I can tell, that's how it works. But
so is it safe to say that Wolfenstein is your best in show from Bethesda?
Nah, Evil Within 2.
Oh, Evil Within 2?
Because I'm really hoping that Evil Within 2 will use id Tech 6. Wolfenstein 2 Wolfenstein 2 is using id Tech 6, and I'm hoping, you know, Evil Within 2, so all of the problems of production could get ironed out, and we just get a really solid... You know, Mikami's not directing it. He's producing it.
But it's still his baby.
It's still... Well, he's running the studio.
Yeah.
And this is the same role he had when RE2 was made. So...
It's going to be good.
It's probably going to be good. It's probably good. Very good chance it's going to be better than the first game. So I'm looking forward to it. Like, a lot.
Yeah, I'm amped about that shit. So, overall, do you have a best and worst that you saw over the whole show?
Well, going through everything else I played, I think the only other big thing I played were the Namco games, and yes, Dragon Ball FighterZ is great.
Looks fucking amazing.
Looks great, plays great. I have a video up of that already.
If that didn't get fucking best in show...
Yeah, Ninokuni 2 was great. I really like the changes they made. I'm not super...
Namco killed it.
I'm not super sold on the cast necessarily, but, you know, let me give it some time to play like the full game. And you know, I played Ace Combat 7 in VR, and that was a lot of fun. I wish it had motion seats, because as cool as it is, like it when you're taking off in VR and you're not moving at all, you're just sitting in a stool or whatever. It's kind of
feels weird.
Yeah, it feels like, God, I really wish this thing was moving.
Did you get to try their Gundam game?
Gundam, I've played it before.
I didn't get to try it, but it's cool.
I forget which port it is, because that's a series that's long running in Japan.
Yeah,
so
it's
going
basically
on for a while.
Virtual On with Gundam.
Yep. It's been the hottest shit in Japanese arcades for a few years now, and they're finally bringing a version of it to America. But like, whatever.
Looks cool.
Looks cool. Dissidia I played, and it was a beautiful mess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very pretty game.
Very pretty, but it was a fucking mess to try to figure out without any knowledge. Didn't even get a chance to play Marvel Infinite. I don't really care. None of the characters I want are in the game.
Yeah, I didn't.
It does look like butt. It looks better when you're playing it on a newer build like at E3. But yeah, I don't play the versus game. The Dragon Ball to me is a versus game that feels easier to grasp than Marvel. Even if I'm not good at either, at least that one felt easier to grasp.
But also, like, Dragon Ball just looked epic and fucking clean. And I mean, it's only 20% done, and it looks fucking amazing.
Well, yeah, because Arc System does good work.
Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, I guess I can't really pick a best in show.
Well, for me, playable, like I said, it's easy. It's Odyssey. I want to give another little shout out to Ys 8 for PS4, Steam, and Vita. That is actually a really cool action RPG that uses witch time mechanics from Bayonetta now.
Oh, cool.
It's it looks good. It sounds amazing. It's got like this sort of like power metal ballad soundtrack. It's coming out in September. And it's if you're into action RPGs, real time action RPGs, it looks hot. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on it, but it looks and plays very, very well.
Not that I want to end this on a downer, but I think now my worst in show is going to be fucking Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I'm just talking about playable games. Oh, and I didn't even talk about Indivisible. I played the backer build that's coming out probably very, 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 very soon. Oh, fuck
yeah, that's right. Yeah, you
did. I'm a little salty that I got to play it before the backers did for the backer build, backer preview, but, I'll say this, it's hot.
Yeah.
It's not, they're not showing you it's mostly just a big graphical update from the original prototype they had. So it still plays mostly the same.
Even then, it looked great then.
You get a little bit more mechanics to work with, but you're not going to get like a town to roam around in or anything like that. It's a new-ish area, but it's more like a complete redone version of the sort of temple-ish area from the prototype. Obviously, the big thing in the backer build is that, hey, here's graphics that are much further along, backgrounds and stuff, and it sounds really good, and it plays just as good as ever.
Music.
Oh yeah, they've got the composer of Secret of Mana composing some of the tracks, and it's definitely come along very well. I saw later after E3, I saw Bloodstain, what they had at E3 in the box within the box.
Yeah.
Of its booth, which I never got into. I never got to see it firsthand, but it's looking like it's coming along really well. It's looking hot. Indivisible was very cool. I was really happy with the time I had on Indivisible, and I'm hoping that it comes out very soon for backers because it's coming along very nicely. And it's coming out on Switch too.
What about Burly Men at Sea? No, that wasn't the best game that you saw.
I'm almost regretting making you play that. Just
Burly Men at Sea.
It's just it's whatever.
You know what the thing is? It's not even that bad. It's just nothing special. And it's like it's kind of funny, but then it's just like Burly Men at Sea.
And it's made by the skinniest, clean-shavenest faced dude ever.
Oh yeah, it's Burly Men with beards.
Yeah, Burly Men at Sea.
Yeah, Burly Men at Sea. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's nothing. But they all have massive beards. And
they're all named something. They're named Beard. Sturdy Beard, Brave Beard, Fast Beard.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Speedy Beard, Sturdy Beard, But everything's beard. And then the guy making it's like this skinny little guy with no beard at all.
Yeah.
Skinny little hipster dude with no fucking facial hair.
It looks like a game that was made by graphic designers that don't know how to make a game, so they just made a graphic design, like a bunch of artwork that they liked, and made it work.
Yeah,
but I mean, it'll be a cool mobile game because I think that's what's intended as.
Probably. I'm really disappointed that there wasn't any Pros versus Joes workout shit this year.
Yeah, for me to just.
I think one of my biggest disappointment was I wanted you to go into their push-up contest, and I wanted you to fucking murder the people who are entering it by doing like 40. What can you do in a setting?
My max, I can do
40, 45?
60 something.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, my max I can do 60 something.
I wanted you to do that. I really wanted to see that happen.
I wanted it because last year they gave away some cool shit. This year they didn't give any. They didn't have any giveaways that I saw. Yeah. Maybe they did the first day and I just didn't see it.
Yeah. And
I wanted a headset.
No Naughty America. That's a real disappointment.
Yeah, fuck. Where were the two most important booths?
Where was my Naughty America?
Yeah, I would have loved doing that this year. But all right, guys. So that was our.
I want Naughty America in 5 with the 3D room cameras.
With all that, oh my god. But that was our best in show E3 discussion.